Hello my lovely angels, this is your girl Sim back with another episode of the Sim Squad. Hi! Like I told you, off late I've been so overwhelmed with new releases and I'm just trying to take it a little slow. Because winter is setting in slowly in UAE, I do have willpower, a little bit of willpower to go out and actually try perfumes. I'm hoping one of these weekends I'll go to the market and find some hidden gems and stuff for you guys. But in the meanwhile, I thought let me start making some compilations for you till I actually try and find perfumes that are not so expensive. Let's just face it, the prices are going out of hand off late. But I'm gonna try and find some old gems, hidden ones, But for that, I'll need to go in the market, try the perfumes, go to the shops, actually physically try the perfumes and then buy them for you. For today's video, I took a request. It was somebody who requested for date night clubbing perfumes. So these are perfumes that I feel, listen guys, there's so many perfumes and I feel most of them are suitable for date nights and most of them are suitable for a night out with your friends or with your date or with your girls, But I have chosen some that I would choose to wear if I was put in that scenario, yeah? I'm not going to do an in-depth review for all of them because I've already reviewed all these perfumes on my channel. This is just going to be a small recap of how they smell like and why I've chosen it. And usually I do it in alphabetical order, but this time, you know what, I just thought let me just jump around and just choose the ones which are showing up on my notes right now. So let's start with the first one, and it is the Opulence of Dubai, which is from Swiss Arabian. You can see, I don't know what that is, okay. You can see how much I've used up already, and I know that's not a big dent for a lot of people, but for me that's a huge dent. And the color, if you have noticed, it's changed so much from the first time I reviewed this perfume. I've been wearing this so much of late, especially because like I said, I'm gravitating more towards perfumes that are making me feel a little bit different. And although for me this is a perfume I can wear on daily basis, I wear this to the office, I wear this when I just step out for grocery as well. But for some people it might be very strictly going out, and especially Opulence of Dubai, it smells like something for the night. It's a spicy woody perfume. On Fragrantica it's got 4. The last time I checked, I'm sure it's higher right now. It's a little pricey. This is a steep one. I think this is the only one that'll be a little steep. The rest of them are not that expensive, yeah? So this costs around $110, but I know that in all the other countries this is on sale. And it's not easy to find it because it comes in the market and disappears. So the top notes for this are Italian bergamot, ginger, Nigerian ginger and Lemme. Middle notes of rose, damascena, cardamom, pink pepper and chocolate. And the base notes of cedarwood, atlas, vetiver, vanilla bourbon, incense, cafe santo, cypriol and amber. Becoming blind, It's too early in the morning. By the way guys, when my voice sounds a little hoarse like this, don't get worried because this is just my morning voice, yeah? So I'm not coming down with a flu or I don't have a sore throat. It's just me waking up in the morning. I just have a cup of coffee. I've not spoken to anybody. I just spat. Sorry. Overexcited. So don't mind my voice, yeah? This one smells like a very Middle Eastern perfume, but Middle Eastern, when I say, it's not with oud, and incense is also in a very limited amount. It smells more like a very, very expensive mall. Like in Dubai, when you enter malls, the mall smells like this. It's a whole lot of perfumes mixed together. It's a whole lot of different types of perfumes mixed together. Like in this one, you have the freshness, you have the spiciness, you have woody notes, you have resins, you have sweet vanilla. It smells like a very posh, expensive shop that you entered and all the perfumes are mixing together, It opens very fresh with the bergamot, with the ginger, but then you have that Lemme, which is very, very interesting. Of late, I've been enjoying my Lemme in perfumes, And if you don't know what Lemme is, it's a resin. Then the spices kick in with cardamom, with the pink pepper. Ultimately coming down to your coffee, your vanilla, your woody notes, But everything smells very, very posh, which is why I feel the name Opulence of Dubai, it's such a perfect name for this because it does smell like how I would expect Dubai to smell like. They have mentioned rose, chocolate, these in the middle notes, I can barely smell them, but they're there in the composition somewhere. And that's the best part about this perfume. It is a perfumey perfume. You cannot really sit there and identify what notes they are, but you can say that this is a woody, spicy perfume. To me, this is a perfume I would wear during night, but anytime during the year. It is unisex for sure. The projection It's like 2 to 3 hours. It's 2 to 3 feet, and the longevity is like 7 to 8 hours. The thing is that this perfume is one of those perfumes that I don't need to top off too often, but I still prefer topping it off because I'm a nut job and I like to keep my perfume. I like smelling the whole experience again and again, you know, top, middle, base. And this is a 10 out of 10 for me. I love it. Be careful though, spraying on your clothes, especially white ones, because it stains. If it stains the blotter, it'll stain your clothes as well. Well, I had just mentioned C and I found this one. So this is Prive Rose by Riffs. I love the bottle. First of all, the bottle looks like a very clubby perfume, right? I know there are these tiny champagnes that look like this. This is kind of like an inspiration for C. It's not exactly the same, but when you smell it, you'll know that you're smelling like a flanker or something of C. This again is a perfume that you would smell at night on a woman who's like probably dressed up in red or black clothes. But she's playful, she's sexy, but she's playful. It's a fruity floral and it's only for $35. It does not come expensive at all. The top notes for this are cassis, heart notes of May Rose and Freesia, base notes of musk, petite grain, sandalwood and galbanum. It smells like a less fruity C, if I can say that. I don't know, it smells a little bit incensey also. I don't know where that incense is coming from, but I do feel towards the end there's some incense in it. So the fruitiness is obviously coming from the cassis, which is like the blackcurrant buds, and that blackcurrant bud smell is so distinct and you'll just smell it and you know this is like a C DNA. But the rose is not prominent in this and it's not like a generic rose. It's not smelling very traditional rosy. And then you have your petite grain as well, which is like the essential oil, you know, from the orange tree, from the twigs and everything, which also gives it like a very interesting, like a twist. And then in the base you have your musk, which is very, very prominent. It's like probably the most prominent thing in this perfume. But you also have your sandalwood, which gives it like a little bit of creaminess, a little bit of sweetness. I don't know, when I smell this also, I just feel it's like a fun time. It smells like it's something that you wear to have fun, but in a very flirtatious way. So I do feel like this is like a perfect date night perfume to wear in a club. Strangely, this is also very perfumey. Like you cannot identify the notes in this. If you know the C perfume, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. This is like super feminine, by the way. Does not have any Middle Easternness about it. The projection for this is like 2 to 3 feet. Longevity I would say is like again 7 hours or so. My rating for this is again 10 out of 10. I love this perfume so much. I can't see how much I've used this, but I would probably wear this during summer, like, you know, to go clubbing during summer, although I'm indoor, whatever, but it just has this very fruity, fresh vibe. So although it does give a dark atmosphere, like you wear this in a club in the darkness where the lights are like flashing and everything, but it's again very uplifting and playful. That's why I feel like this is like you having a good time in a bottle, you know. Next we have The Kingdom Woman by Latafa. I was contemplating whether I should put this or not, but I wanted like not just very dark sexy perfumes for clubbing. I wanted something which is like a little bit more relaxed and playful as well, and sometimes you're just having a good time. This is probably something you would wear on your first date. I mean, if you're going to a club on a first date or something, or if you're just going clubbing, it's not a date, right? I think this is like a very nice perfume if you want to feel upbeat and happy, you know. This is a happy perfume. This again is like a very beautiful fruity floral, but it has praline in it, which makes it a little bit more, that gourmand facet comes into the picture. So it just is like a different, interesting perfume. This will cost you around $45. The top notes are blackcurrant, peony and pear, middle notes of jasmine, praline and tonka bean, and the base notes of vanilla, sandalwood, amber and musk. So it starts off very, very fruity. For some reason, the praline and the tonka, they come into the picture within a couple of minutes, which is something I like because it's just not like very, very fruity and floral. The jasmine also like comes in, but very, very gradually. But the tonka and the praline came like much earlier than that. And then the other notes start revealing themselves, like your jasmine along with your vanilla, your sandalwood. So the perfume, although it's very, very fruity floral, it's also very creamy, very comforting. Like there's a comforting element for it. So think of like a very playful, upbeat perfume combined with like a sexy part of it, which is like your tonka, sandalwood, your praline, your, you know, vanilla, like the gourmands. When they all get mixed together, it just creates a very beautiful fragrance. I told you guys that I'll review this again as a maceration update, because initially when I smelled this, I was like, for sure this needs to settle down. Now I feel it's kind of getting there. It is starting to like, you know, it's maturing. It's like mixing, all the elements are mixing so well together now. This is why I like this perfume. As a matter of fact, you know what? Today I'll wear this to the office. I say this all the time. I pick up a perfume and I'm like, I'll wear this to the office today. But it's just a beautiful fragrance. I think, yeah, I had given it 8 out of 10 earlier. I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10 now. Because right now, I feel this is a perfume that I can gravitate towards. This is like a interesting perfume. It'll create an intrigue. So let's just say like, yeah, it's good for your first date, you know? Even second date for that matter. And going clubbing, for sure. Because you'll be surrounded by the scent bubble. It projects like around 2 to 3 feet, so you will like have a decent scent bubble around you, and the longevity as well is like not bad for this one, so it's like 7 hours or so. Very interesting, beautiful fragrance. This is like surprisingly like changed so much, and it's a 10 out of 10 for me. Next I have Musamam White. Okay, this one is making an appearance on my channel after a very long time. Although you guys know already how much I love this fragrance. That's how much I've used up, you know. Actually, I'm surprised I still have this much left because I use this perfume quite a bit. Now this one is definitely a first date perfume because it's quite intimidating. It's like the bottle, you know. Also, I feel this is a very air or fire sign scent because it's very like out there. Like it's something that like wants to stand out. It's like thriving to stand out. They call it a fruity gourmand. In my opinion, this is a very oriental fragrance. It's only for $35, or at least I got it for that much. Fragrantica, it's got 4.59. And this is supposed to be a dupe for Stellar Times by Louis Vuitton. The top notes are bergamot, orange and spices. The middle notes are coconut, mahogany, ylang ylang and ambroxan. And the base notes of sandalwood, benzoin and musk. To me, this smells like a very spicy perfume. And then it has like oriental notes on it. So you have your sandalwood, your benzoin, your bergamot. But then it has like a little twist of that coconut in it. So it smells like you're having you're in a party or in your club in a very... in an exotic place, or you're in an exotic club. It's just a very impressive perfume. I don't know how people can not like this perfume. I know this has ambroxan in it and that bothers a lot of people. I know at least 2 people on my channel who get bothered by the ambroxan in this. So if you're sensitive to ambroxan, this does have like a huge load of ambroxan, so be careful of that. But if you're looking for a spicy perfume, you know, I also detect ginger in this, but it's not listed over here. Maybe it's like a mixture of spices that's giving me that. The orange and bergamot are not very zingy. They're more like a residue of bergamot and orange. Bergamot more than the orange. And in florals are also like, although they're yellow florals and white florals, they're not very dominating as well. But you can smell the florals quite strongly. So this smells to me like a tropical vacation, but you're in a nightclub in a tropical vacation. You know, it's so gorgeous. So think of like being on an island or something on a vacation, and then you have an open air party or something, or it's like a club or something but everybody is like from different parts of the world. Okay, let me not go there. Anyhow, for me this is a unisex perfume, but it leans a little feminine. I don't know, I just feel this is like a feminine perfume. Ali, if he wears it, I'll probably be okay with it. Like I will like it on him. But would I share this perfume with him? No, I would not want him to wear this perfume. I would rather reserve this to smell like me to smell like this. I think this is all weather, but definitely like something I would wear during the day and night, although I'm listing it as a clubbing perfume for the night. But I would wear this during the day as well. The projection is insane on this. It's like 3 feet or more. And the longevity I would say is like, again, 7 hours. I don't know how many times I've given this perfume a 10 out of 10. I don't know how many times I've spoken about this perfume. It's not going to change. I love this perfume. It'll probably be in my collection. So when I give 10 out of 10, guys, just to let you know, whenever I say 10 out of 10, it's a perfume that I will repurchase, yeah? 9 out of 10 is something like I like, but will I repurchase it? Like, not too sure, you know? Oh my god, I need to go to work in half an hour and I'm still not done with not even like quarter of this video. I need to be faster and shorter. Next is one from Khadlaj, and it's literally called Date Night. I haven't spoken about this perfume for a minute, and I did not know what to compare this perfume to initially. But recently I got like a sample of Rolling in Love by Kilian, and it kind of smells like that. Not kind of, it smells quite a bit like that. But is it duping it? I'm not too sure. But it definitely is in the same like DNA. This retails for like around $55. I don't know what to categorize this perfume as. But it smells a little Play-Doh-y. That's like a very, very prominent thing in this perfume. You guys know at one point I was like obsessed with the perfume. Again, it's so bold. Like the color has changed so much. I haven't used a lot of this though. Like I need to put this in the front, you know. If you remember, I was raving about this perfume like once upon a time, and I'm still like crazy about this perfume. I use this perfume on its own, but then I also layer this with like fruity floral perfumes if I want to add like a sophisticated or poshy vibe. because this does smell like you just walked out of a Dior showroom and you are carrying like loads of shopping bags, you know. You bought like tons of things from there. It smells like new clothes, new shoes, new your handbags and everything. Like it has like that play-doh-y, like I don't know what to call it, but it's like that fresh new plastic smell, but not in a bad way. It's like a very perfumey way. The top notes for this are blackcurrant, bergamot and orange flower, middle notes of tuberose and orris, base notes of cedarwood, vanilla and dry amber. Now, I don't understand all these notes because to me it just smells like a slightly fruity floral perfume and with like tons and tons of like this woody and play-doh note together. But it's also like mildly sweet. It's not strongly sweet, and I feel like the sweetness is coming more from the resins, like from the amber or something, rather than the fruits and the florals. I think it's a gorgeous scent. It lasts like forever. It's like 8+ hours. The projection is like 3 feet around, or maybe like 3 to 4 feet, because once you wear it, it just goes like moves around you like crazy. There's no Middle Eastern vibe in this, and I would consider this to be a unisex perfume, and I'll tell you why. It kind of gives me the vibe of that Dior Hypnotic Poison, and although that perfume was made for women, I feel like it goes very well on men as well. And although this doesn't smell like Hypnotic Poison, it does remind me of that. This is again a 10 out of 10 for me. I don't know why I've been sitting on this. That's why I'm telling you I need to redo this. Probably the next video will be this. Let me just take it onto myself, like, Simin, you have to do it. I need to reshuffle them because, you know, when the new perfumes come, I tend to just keep it in front and everything else goes behind. And this is another problem of having so many perfumes, you know. Like some good perfumes, you just forget about them. Let's do one more from Khadlaj. This is the Sensuous Night. This, to me, first of all, the packaging itself, it looks like something that you would be picking up if you blindly saw this at your friend's house and you were going clubbing. You would probably grab this perfume because you'd be like 100% this is something to be worn at night. It looks dark, sexy. It's like a fruity floral. This is more of a floral than the fruity perfume, but the opening is very, very fruity. But it has this very strong darkness about it, and it's crazy how I'm normally not very fond of these kind of perfumes, yeah, which are very, very, they open very, very fruity. But the fact that this is not a kiddie fruity, it is not smelling cheap is what I'm trying to say. It smells like expensive. It doesn't smell like a body spray or something you picked off from, you know, those convenience stores, you know, the fantasy sprays or something. Or it doesn't smell, I don't know, it just smells like a very, very expensive perfume. The top notes for this are lemon, pineapple and green apple. Middle notes of blackcurrant, rose, jasmine and violet. And then the base notes of cedarwood, patchouli, amber and vanilla. It kind of has like a hint of hibiscus mahajat, but it is not hibiscus mahajat, okay? It opens very heavily fruity. The apple and the pineapple again are mixed together, but the pineapple is like the sweet kind. Then in the middle they have blackcurrant, rose, jasmine and violet, which is the prominent part of this perfume. This is what stays mostly, along with the base notes of your patchouli, amber, vanilla and cedarwood. Very nice dried arm. It smells very poshy. By the way, I mixed these two a lot because I had received them almost like close to each other. Mixing these two, this elevates this just like to a next level. So try mixing these two perfumes if you have them. The projection for this is like 2 feet. Longevity, unfortunately, I feel is like 6 hours, or it can stretch to 7 hours if it's not too hot wherever you're going. It's definitely very, very feminine. I think you can wear this in all weather. I would prefer to wear this at night. To me, this is like, I would say an 8 out of 10. What did I give? I don't know. There's nothing written on my sheet. I would give this an 8 out of 10. I'm getting tempted to give it an 8.5, but you know what? I'm smelling these perfumes after such a long time, so it's kind of giving me a nostalgia hit as well. So let's stick to 8 out of 10. But it's definitely the name is very apt. Sensuous Night is what it is. It's a very sensuous woman. Definitely somebody who's very, very flirty and very, very sensuous, you know. Now next one will be a little bit like a controversial one because you'll be like, Sini, that's not a clubbing fragrance. To me it is. This is the Miraj. I should stop saying Miraj. Miraj exclusive. This is from your French Avenue. I recently received this and I've been obsessing over it since then. And you guys know it already. First of all, I just absolutely love the packaging. Now, this is going towards Middle Eastern, right? So if you're looking for a clubbing Middle Eastern perfume, that's why I chose this, because I wanted like a little bit like a version of Middle East, but not so heavy on oud that you'd be like, oh my gosh, it's just smelling like oud. No, this is heavy on jasmine because this is an inspiration of Bewitching Yasmin, which is from the Penhaligon's, right? It's a spicy floral. It's got 4.33 on Fragrantica. Personally, I gave it a 10 out of 10 without even thinking much, because I was like, wow, like who, like, okay, let me calm down, because this perfume is just it does something to me. It does the same thing to me what Alien did when I first smelled it. I know I'm gonna put off so many people right now, because I know not everybody loves Alien, which is like a very indolic jasmine. Like people just like, well, you know, some people even have the gag reflex to it. I love Alien till date, and I'm gonna come up with one of the inspirations for Alien, but this one is Alien with so much more. This costs around $50. The top notes are cardamom and coffee. See the interesting parts, right? And then the middle notes is jasmine sambac. It's the same type of jasmine you get in Alien. And then the base notes, you have vanilla, incense and oud. Incense and oud are very mild, so don't get worried. Opening is like that cardamom coffee, but it's not the kahwa. It's like a, actually it does smell like kahwa, but like a very mild version of the kahwa. So the notes are so well balanced that you do feel like the jasmine is like the star note. It's very prominent, and then everybody else is like supporting it, and they do it so well that jasmine is not overwhelming. So think of like the cardamom, the coffee, and then you have the jasmine. Think of that as a start, how the perfume smells like. And then you have like a addition of the sweetness from the vanilla and the incense. The incense also is quite sweet in this. And the oud is not very overwhelming. It's not banyadi, it is not very sticky. It is a very cold, light oud. And I think this is like one of the best oud perfumes I've laid my nose upon recently. I do feel this is a night, but this is like the siren perfume. I told you guys when I first smelled this perfume, it reminded me of a mage, and I just feel whoever wear this at night, they're gonna smell so sexy. But I would wear this in the club, you know, and I would like douse myself in this so that people are like, you know what, there's only one perfume in this club and that's this one, you know, it's Miraj. Anyhow, the projection for this is insane. It's like 2 to 3 feet. Longevity, it lasts 7+ hours for sure. It does 8 hours, but I'm just being on the safe side and saying 7 hours to you guys. It's not changed much since the first time I sprayed it. The Middle Eastern vibe obviously in this is like high. It's unisex, but I think it leans feminine. It reminds me like of a dark gothic woman. I'm so sure I'm going to get late to work today. I have 6, 7, I have 10 more perfumes to go. How many did I do? Oh my goodness. Okay, let me go faster. Next is Ameerat Al Ehsaas. Okay guys, if you don't understand my pronunciation, because these Arabic perfumes can be like a mess to pronounce, just switch on the closed captions. I edit my closed captions. It takes like more than an hour and a half to edit my captions, but I do it specifically for people who watch my channel in a different language with subtitles, and also for these names, you know, because just switch that on and you'll see the names like properly. Also, I do like normally do the chapters, right? You can see it over there also. Ameerat Al Ehsaas, while not being an exact dupe for your Crystal Noir by Versace, it's very close. It's the same category for sure. It's the same DNA. You have your very clearly your ginger with the florals. It's so like obviously like coconut, and that, you know, coconut ginger spices combination, like, which is very, very typical of your Crystal Noir. Again, for everybody who did not like Crystal Noir, please don't get offended by this one already without even like trying it. Because while Crystal Noir is a little bit heady and a little bit, you feel like the air around you got thicker somehow or heavier. This one is like, think of it like as a fresher version of that. On Fragrantica, this got 3.85, which is like utter bullshit for me, sorry. Yeah, it's gonna get beeped out. Anyhow, the top notes for this are coconut, ginger, cardamom and black pepper. Middle notes of gardenia, orange blossom and peony, and the base notes of white musk, amber and sandalwood. All these notes combined together, florals. To me, this is like very prominently floral, but it has that ginger and coconut, which makes it like exotic. It smells different. Then you have like hints of spices here and there. Very beautiful, kind of linear through and through. Yeah, the opening is a little bit fresh and then settles down to a little bit like a nighttime perfume. It does smell like a little noir. Look at the bottle. Even the bottle gives you that impression, right? It looks like a very clubbing bottle. By the way, the black pepper in this is quite prominent, but don't be afraid of it. It's not the sneezy type. It's not the one that itches, you know. It just gives you that black pepper vibe. I mean, this perfume I think is genius. I think they kind of upped the version, you know. I still love equally my Crystal Noir, and I love this one. Because to me, although they smell they smell almost the same, but Crystal Noir is like an elevated version. It's like, think of like air getting like a little heavier, literally like a vampire showed up or something, you know. And this one is like a, you know, baby vampire or something. I don't know. But yeah, this is definitely a clubbing perfume to me. Definitely a date night. It's a very impressive perfume, but also gives you that siren vibe. I have one more from Khadlaj. Yes, I do. This one is the, I just mentioned this. So this is like your Lee Prestige Royal, and this Royal, not Royal, Lee Prestige Royal, and this is your kind of like in the same DNA. It's not exactly the same as Hibiscus Mahajad, but it's close. You will smell it and you will think of Hibiscus Mahajad, but it does not have a very strong mint. The greenness, that sharp greenness is there, but somehow it's a little bit more tolerable. You know, you guys know me, that sharp green note in anything, which is the reason why I'm not very fond of Delina. Don't get me wrong, it's a genius perfume. I love it on other people. It's just not for me, you know. I don't hate Delina. I hate some other perfume, but I don't hate Delina. But I still have Delina, and I have worn it once or twice on an airplane, and I don't know why I did that to myself. I was like, oh, it's travel size, let me wear. Big mistake. Anyhow, this has that little greenness about it. It does have the same musk as Delina, so that's why I don't know. See, Delina just popped in my head, right? Although I wasn't even thinking of the relation between the two. But it does have like that Delina kind of musk. It does have that little sharp greenness. It has the rose, but it has like a lot of water flowers, like water lily, lotus, you know. It has like a hint of some unique notes. I'm not too sure, but mint, yeah. And then like the base notes also, I know like they're heavy notes, but they don't smell that heavy in this perfume. It retails for $45. Okay, so top notes are spearmint, blackcurrant, like so obviously blackcurrant, and it has the absolute, yeah. Middle notes of cinnamon, Turkish rose, and water lily, and the base notes of amber, amberette, benzoin, cedarwood, leather, and vanilla. See, so it has like some really strong notes like leather, but it doesn't smell very leathery. It kind of smells like just 0.5% of the leather, not like really like a handbag or something, or like a shoe, you know. It's not going there. It's not smelling like you walked into a leather shop, yeah. It's there to just create an interest. Vanilla, also, it's there like a sweetness. It's not really smelling like vanilla, but this perfume, again, it's like it's mixed so well with the rose, with the water lily. I do feel like a lotus vibe also in this. Like, you know, when you say that lotus, you automatically assume, although it's like a water flower, it does have this powdery kind ofness to it as well, and this a little headiness. So this perfume is not for people who do not like heady fragrances. This is definitely a little bit heady. This is one of those perfumes that the air around you gets a little heavy when you wear them, but it is a kind of like a magic perfume. It's an intoxicating, but let's not call it magic perfume. Let me not be too totally weird. Let me be more relatable for people who are new on my channel. But yeah, it kind of is like hypnotizing, yeah. In my head, it kind of smells like, I don't think everybody's touched the lotus flower. I have. Don't ask how, but it was, okay, that's a story for another day. But I have, you know, the lotus flowers are huge, right? And then I touched it, and oh my god, it was so beautiful and soft. And I did it as a child, yeah. So that's like a vivid memory in my head of feeling that petal and smelling that petal, and it was so intoxicating and strong. I did find it very heady as a child, but right now it's like that feeling of it actually being the actual lotus flower, you know, and how I felt with it, the velvetiness of the petals and the headiness of the perfume. But because they've added like little interesting notes like spearmint and your leather, your vanilla, your little touch of cinnamon, these like just make the perfume not smell too generic. And I quite like this. I quite like this. The thing is, I cannot think of wearing this anywhere else except for like a night event or with Ali. If I go out for a date, like to a fancy dinner, like a fine dining, you know, I would wear this. It'll just make me feel exotic, special, and, you know, sexy. This is a feminine perfume, no Middle Eastern vibe to my nose. Projection, 3 to 4 feet. Longevity, 8+ hours. It doesn't go away from your body, it doesn't go away from your clothes till you wash them. This to me is a 10 out of 10. Again, this perfume makes me feel dark in a very weird way, but in a very, like a nice, like a dark fairy tale. Grimm Brothers. Brothers Grimm. What was it? Yeah, Brothers Grimm. Okay, told you I'll do it faster, and I'm almost like I'm getting anxiety because I'm getting late. Okay, next we have December Rose. I have put both the Decembers in this category because they both are like clubbing perfumes. So this one is like a from the same DNA as Fenty, Rihanna's Fenty perfume. Initially I didn't get it, but I do now. Although Rihanna's perfume is a little bit more heady than this one. This is like a little bit more like a tangier version of Rihanna's Fenty. I really like it. First of all, it's only for $20 over here, at least from pariscorner.ae, right? For a perfume that comes this cheap, the packaging is stunning. I love it. They have written the notes at the back, so let me just read it off from here. Top notes are blueberry and tangerine, heart notes of rose, geranium and magnolia, and the base notes of musk and patchouli. This is not your first date. This is more intimate. Like this starts getting more like when you start like trying to get like you could get married to me. This is that kind of vibe. Okay, in clubbing sense, I would probably wear this like when I'm hanging out with my friends, or I'm wearing it with Ali, you know. And it's somebody I already am dating for a long time. It's a very comforting scent. It's a very familiar scent. To my nose, it smells like something I've smelled a lot of times, but there's nothing over here that would say that this is Middle Eastern, but it does somehow smell Middle Eastern. And I cannot explain to you because like growing up in the Middle East, you've smelled this a lot in the oil forms and stuff, you know. This again is a little heady, which is why it's perfectly fine in the clubs, you know, it's super cold and everything. So it does also kind of exude darkness. And funny enough, you can smell all the notes. You can smell the geranium, you can smell the rose, you can smell the magnolia. And in the top, you can smell the blueberry, and you can smell the tangerine, you know. So all the notes like so distinctly being present, but at the same time being like a perfectly balanced perfume. Gorgeous. In the beginning, it had like some things in this perfume which were bothering me because it was not macerated. You know, Paris Corner perfumes, they need time to settle down and mature, and now it's mature to the level it's supposed to. It's not going to change anymore. This is a super floral fragrance, and it's a heady floral. So be prepared when you buy this, or if you try it. Try the Fenty perfume if you're okay with it. This is like a milder version of the Fenty perfume, and I'm telling you, this is like a slightly brighter version of the Fenty perfume. So if you can tolerate that, you can definitely tolerate this one. I think it's beautiful, but it's a very rose heavy perfume. Obviously it's called December Rose. Even the bottle, the way it looks like. But again, to me, this is not very revolutionary because I've smelled this a lot. I'm gonna give this a 8 out of 10. Okay, I had given it a 7.5 earlier, so still an upgrade for it. So 8 out of 10 for that. It's definitely very, very feminine. I wrote over here as a note that it smells like a cabaret dancer or something. They would wear something like this. So think of that vibe, you know. Projection is around like 2 to 3 feet. Longevity is good. Now, 7 to 8 hours for sure. Since we're doing the December collection, let's do the December vanilla as well. So this was in the same genre as your Sugared Patchouli, the Kiali perfume, right? And it smells similar but not the same. So this is kind of like diverted, you know. It's gone to a different it's gone a different fork on the road, you know. This is very, very Middle Eastern, by the way. Instantly smelling the oud, instantly smelling incense, instantly smelling like a very sugary sweet vanilla and patchouli. And so it does like kind of like give you the same impression as the Kiali perfume, but I don't know, somehow it's different at the same time. This again is only for $20, and I think it's very, very worth it if you like that sugar patchouli. Yeah. The top notes are rum, vanilla, orchid and jasmine. Middle notes of vanilla, spicy notes, leather, tonka, rose and creme brulee. And the base notes of brown sugar, amber, oud, patchouli, sugar and musk. Wow, that's a lot of notes. So, you know, complicated perfume. Very, very, very complex. Very complex. You have your rum, for sure. It's very boozy in the opening. But it's like a vanilla rum. So it's like a bourbon vanilla. Then you have your jasmine, which is like very, very heady. But I can smell the rose already in the background. Then you have notes which are like so like I don't understand. Creme brulee, spicy notes, leather, your patchouli, your sugar, your musk, your oud, your amber, your brown sugar. So it's very, very sweet for sure. If you want me to explain this perfume in like a gist, it's a oud incense perfume, but it's very heavy on vanilla and a lot of sugary notes. And it has heady florals like jasmine and rose, which are indolic. Like I can smell the indoles in this, you know. And the vanilla is like the bourbon vanilla. It has like interesting notes here and there, but in a gist, that's how it smells like. This one is like crazy insane. The projection is 3 to 4 feet. Longevity is like 8 hours for sure for this one. I like it when it settles down like a little bit more on my clothes and on my skin, because ultimately just settles down to a very sweet, powdery, incensey Middle Eastern perfume. This will be super obnoxious to some people, but to me it's beautiful. If you're okay with incensey perfumes, you're gonna like this. If you don't like incensey perfumes, you're gonna not like this. Plus, it's quite Middle Eastern. So try it before you buy it. I personally love it. I'd given it a 7.5 out of 10. I don't know how, but this is like a 9 out of 10 for me. Will I purchase this again? Not sure, but I know this, but I'm not going to gravitate towards this a lot. I'll wear this occasionally, so I know this perfume is going to be with me for a couple of years. I will never declutter this one. It's gorgeous. Okay, 6 more perfumes to go and I have 3 minutes to leave the house. Okay, that's not happening. Okay, next we have the dupe for Alien, and that's your signature by Ajmal. If you like or don't like Alien, this is your Indolic Jasmine. First of all, I love the bottle. It's like so skinny, but at the same time, you know, I feel this is a fresher version. It's more wearable. I feel people who dislike Alien, they will still like this one. It just has the top notes in this are a little bit more pronounced. And the top notes kind of stay till the end. It's not just the Indolic Jasmine. The top notes for this are jasmine and watery notes. Perhaps it's those watery notes that's balancing it out, because it does make it feel not watered down, but it has that water note, you know, which is why you feel like it's the same Indolic Jasmine, but it's like kind of floating in water. Kind of gives you like a spa vibe as well in a weird sense because of jasmine, I suppose. I don't know. The top notes for this are jasmine, water notes, and middle notes of vanilla, orange blossom, and the base notes of ambergris and musk. If I'm not mistaken, the notes in Alien were just 3. It was jasmine, orange blossom, and ambergris, if I'm not mistaken. And I think there was musk. I'm not sure. I know it was just few notes. I wouldn't say this is like particularly sweeter or less sweet or anything. It's just feels like Alien with like a lot of watery notes, and there's some weird freshness in it, and I can't explain it, guys. It's strange. Some people would perceive it as like a herb or something in it, but it's not listed. But this weird kind of herbal feeling in the background, and that just makes this perfume smell so good. Don't be mistaken, it is still a very, very jasmine heavy perfume. The prominence is towards jasmine, but the supporting notes are so pretty that you accept and embrace the jasmine, you know. On Fragrantica, it's got 4.07. So definitely very, very floral perfume. I think it's unisex for sure. I think a guy can pull this off. Why not? If he likes jasmine perfumes. The projection for this is like 2 to 3 feet. Longevity 8 hours for sure. It's so strong. And I don't know the price, but I'll put it. But I remember it was super affordable. I think it was $35 if I'm not mistaken. My rating for this is, let's say, a 9 out of 10. I don't know if I'm gonna buy this again. I've barely used it, but when I use it, I love it. Again, I'm telling you, like too many perfumes, not been using them. Okay guys, I just excluded 2 perfumes. I'll mention it in the honorable mentions, but I'm not gonna do a whole review for them because trust me, I'm getting very, very late. Anyhow, this had to be there. This is Rare Passion. This is Ali's favorite perfume on me. This is by Afnan. It's called Rare Passion. It is the strangest, weirdest smell. People compare this to Love Don't Be Shy or something. I don't think it smells anything like that. It's so different. Maybe there's like a 5% or 10% something like Love Don't Be Shy. It has that candy sweetness kind of thing going on, but it is nothing like a candy perfume. It's so sexy, so mature. It's one of those perfumes that just gets me going. It makes me feel sexy. It makes me feel nice. And in the sense of clubbing and dating and everything, I think this is a very interesting perfume to wear, because it makes the other person think, what is she wearing? The only thing I have, if this had like a little bit of a sweet tobacco note, they've not listed it, it's there in the background. I just wished it was slightly more prominent. If that had happened, this perfume would have become the epitome of sexiness, you know. The top notes for this are orange, rose and musk. Middle notes of amber, woods and vanilla, and the base notes of rose, musk and orange blossom. So the orange in the opening is like a candy orange, not like a fresh orange, which is the part I feel like maybe Love Don't Be Shy, you know, with the musk and rose. And then you have your actual rose flower and orange blossom. So it does not like sound like a very complicated perfume, but when you smell it, it does smell like there are hidden notes for sure. And I'm telling you, like there is like something in the background that smells like a tobacco note. It does start off like a candy perfume, like the orange candy perfume, but that transforms very quickly to a floral musk. And this has been in my favorites for the longest time. 10 out of 10, hands down. This perfume is like, never ever ever can I live without this perfume. It's just a beautiful, beautiful perfume. It's probably my favorite from the entire Afnans, all of them. This is again, I feel unisex, but it leans feminine. Projection 2 to 3 feet, longevity 8 hours, and it definitely smells like a clubbing perfume or a date night perfume. Next we have a new one from Paris Corner, and this is the Ophidian Black cherry. I got so obsessed with this perfume. The moment I smelled it, I was like, oh, what is this? It's so beautiful. And it's probably like the most unique cherry perfume I have, because you know the other cherries I have, they smell very much like either your lost cherry or your electric cherry. This just smells like, it smells like the wine cork, the, you know, bottle cap, you know. When you smell it, how it smells like, that's how the opening is. But it's like very, very sweet. It does give you that same feeling you get when you smell a bottle of wine. It's so strong, it's a little boozy, it gets to your head, kind of like makes you feel a little choked up as well. That's just the opening. But then your dark fruits come into the picture, which is like, I think, the sexy part of being a date night perfume, when the flirty sexy part, which is like the black currants and your berries and stuff. This has the top notes of cherry, raspberry, bergamot and woody notes. Middle it has praline, heliotrope, rose and oud. And in the base you have tonka, patchouli, vetiver and incense. Guys, it's so difficult to describe this perfume. I'll tell you something. The opening for sure smells like wine. A very, very, like wine if it was mixed with like a lot of sugar. That's how it smells like in the opening. In the middle, you have your rose and oud coming into the picture, but they're not so heavy and heady that you will get, it's not obnoxious, you know, that's what I'm trying to say. And then you have your praline and tonka as sweetness, but then you have your patchouli, vetiver and incense in the base, which is creating the little slight masculinity as well. And that's why this perfume is not smelling weird or something. It's just like very well rounded. I don't know how to explain this perfume. It just makes me feel a certain way, and the more I smell this, the more I love it. I know I told you guys that this will mature, it'll change, and it is definitely changing. The sharpness is disappearing slowly. To start with, I didn't have a problem with that sharpness, but somehow it's becoming smoother and I'm loving it more and more and more. The more I use it, I love it. This is a 10 out of 10. Probably like it's bypassing all my other cherry perfumes, which is like strange because I do have a lot of cherries in front of me. I do have another one which I'm not going to mention right now, but I'll show it as an honorable mention. But if you like slightly powdery smell, but like it smells like cherry, it's also kind of nostalgic. I don't know where that nostalgia is coming from, but it smells a little nostalgic. It smells like a dry perfume. It smells goth. It smells very, very goth. Also like the whole cathedral image is coming, but it's coming in a goth way, right? And I know it's because of the incense, but it's giving me like vampiric vibe or Constantine, like that movie vibe. You know, it's very dark, mysterious. I love it. I need to make a goth perfume compilation. I'll make a note for that because I have like new ones. I should have done it on Halloween, but I didn't do it. I had planned to, but I did not because we had the beauty world going on at that time. Anyways, so Ophidian Black Cherry is my favorite from the lot. I have all three of them, thanks to Paris Corner sending me those. Projection, I would say like it's like 3 feet. Longevity is 7+ hours for sure. I've written 8+ hours over here, but I'm saying 7 hours because you're in the clubbing scenario and everything. I think this is unisex, a guy can pull this off, but I would prefer women wearing this. Middle Eastern vibe, mild. Kind of smells like cherry smoke mixed with Matière, what was it, Noir, Matière Noir, yeah, mixed together. That kind of goth vibe. Now the last one I have is Cherry Bouquet, and for some reason I don't have my notes. I know I made the notes, but somehow it has disappeared. So this one is a boozy cherry. It has like all sorts of cherry in it. On Fragrantica it's got 4.15. The top notes are black cherry, sour cherry, cherry liquor and almond. Middle notes of raspberry, plum, damask, rose and jasmine sambac. Middle notes of patchouli, vanilla, cloves, vetiver and cedar. In the beginning it just kind of smells like a very, very boozy cherry perfume with almond and clove. That's like the general impression you get like in the first sniff. Boozy cherry, almond, clove. But then slowly the other notes start revealing themselves. The other fruits start coming into the picture, which is your raspberry and plum and your rose, of course, but they all are like supporting notes still. Still, the main notes are your cherry, rum, your almond and your clove. Then you also have your like rose and jasmine, like they're playing hide and seek with you somehow, you know. You can smell them and then you don't smell them. You smell them, you don't smell them. And then in the base you have like your earthy notes like vetiver, patchouli and cedar wood. You need to absolutely love cherry perfumes if you want to love this perfume. The cherry in this is both realistic and artificial, you know. That's what I'm saying, like you feel like they dumped all sorts of different cherries into one perfume. People kept asking me if this smells like the Kiali perfume, the Kiali burning cherry. I don't think it smells like that, because that one has like a very prominent note of Palo Santo. This one does not have the Palo Santo. It does have like a weird kind of smokiness though. I don't know where that's coming from. It does smell like lost cherry, but like, I don't know, it's like a much milder version. It's not that smoky, it's not that powerful, it's not that, this is like so much lighter. And somehow I feel like this is more playful, and it's a little bit more flirty. It's a little bit more less serious, you know, you're just gonna go have some fun, you know. So yeah, for a date night, this is like perfect. For clubbing, this is perfect. Like, think of like your cough syrup cherry, your boozy cherry, your realistic cherry, your fake cherry, all the cherries together, mixed with like earthy notes, mixed with that clove and almond. I think it's beautiful. The thing is that with this perfume, you need to overspray. It does like project quite a bit, but I think you need to keep topping up. Like 6 to 7 hours is what I feel with this perfume. For some reason, I feel it's getting weaker. I don't know why, but I just feel like the perfume somehow is getting weaker. Initially, when I smelled this, I thought it was lasting for a very long time. And then suddenly, like I've finished like so much already because I keep overspraying the perfume. But nevertheless, it smells very much like how it looks, the bottle. It has this darkness about it, it's gorgeous, but at the same time it's very playful. Like, just lets us have a fun time, you know. Personally, I don't think this is Middle Eastern at all. I think this is unisex. A guy can pull this off absolutely. If Ali wears this, I think he's gonna smell gorgeous, so why not? He will not wear it. The moment he'll hear cherry, he's not gonna wear it. But I would not mind him wearing this. I can also layer this perfumes with like other oud perfumes, and it's gonna smell great. So I have like a lot of layering things in mind. I need to make a layering video, an updated one. Did I give my rating for this? It's a 10 out of 10. It's a beautiful fragrance. Now, 2 honorable mentions before I go. Modest Dill. Of course I had to put this. This is your La Nuit Trésor. It's like the perfume women wear, you know, to smell delicious, to smell sexy, to smell like very attractive, you know. So I had to put this over here. And the second one I wanted to put was Maison Al Asrar's Red Velvet. Now, personally, I don't like this perfume very much. It smells like your Burberry herb, you know, the strawberry marshmallow thingy. But while it doesn't smell exactly like that, it does have like some different facets to it. But I have not been using it, but I love the bottle, and I'm gonna wait for some time. But I just thought that this is again a very clubbing perfume. Like, look at the colors. Like, you know, for some reason a lot of the bottles are like these colors. Anyways guys, I'm not gonna do end intro exit and outro. Oh my goodness. Outro. I'm not gonna do an outro, a major one. I'm just gonna tell you thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.